I need to read this book and I'm running out of time. Hi, it's Jennifer today, and last January 2024, Kate and I sat down and wrote out a list of our top 10 Catholic goals for the new year. And reading through the Confessions of St. Augustine all the way was one of the things on the list. Okay, that was my thing because I have started and failed to finish this book numerous times, and it's always bothered me that I haven't read the whole thing. So I thought I'll put it on the list, I'll hold myself accountable, it will be great. Okay, so fast forward, the year's almost done, and this is the last thing on our list. I'm ruining it for us. If it weren't for me, we would have that list all the way knocked out. We would be done. So I have decided that I don't want to end the year without reading it. I'm going to give myself 1 week to start and finish the book. I feel like if I have a hard deadline like that, maybe I'll get through it. I don't know. The print is really small in this book, and I don't know why I never can get through it. That was personal between Augustine and me. We have to do this. So I'm holding myself accountable. You guys hold me accountable, and let's see how we do. Okay, so it is like 4:30 on day one, and I have made it through the end of book one. I'm moving into book two, his adolescence at this point, but I have a confession to make, no pun intended, and that is that I have switched from my regular book to an audiobook because I researched the whole situation, people who have failed to read the Confessions, and I read some recommendations that if you're that person, then try the translation by Frank Sheed. It's a little bit easier to understand, it's more living, and so the book that I have is not that translation, but I found the translation on Hoopla. So that's what I'm doing, and now I have another sad confession to make. I thought I would be tricky and listen to it at time and a half, because then I could get through all 15 hours of it maybe more quickly. However, I soon discovered that it's just too fast and I was missing things, and then I had to go back and start again, so crime never pays. So now I'm going out for a walk to hopefully knock out a few more chapters, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, getting close to the end of day two, and I am about 30% through the book. I know, that's great. I am surprised because I am really enjoying it. Shock, I can't believe it. And I think there are a couple of reasons why. Number one, the audiobook that I'm listening to, the version is narrated by somebody who has a voice. He sounds just like Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars movies. So Ben Kenobi is giving me life lessons from Augustine's Confessions. I just feel like I'm in the hands of a master soaking up all this knowledge. Okay, so that's one thing. I'm enjoying the narrator. And then number two, a couple of years ago, I watched a biography of St. Augustine on the Catholic media site Formed. I think it was called Restless Flame or Restless Heart, something like that. I'll link it down below. But it was, went through his whole life, and I have a knowledge now of his whole life, and we're coming to places in the book, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that guy. I remember when this happened. I remember when that happened. And so I'm not just going in cold, if that makes sense. I have like a background knowledge, which is hugely helpful. And then the third thing I think that is helping me is that last year I did catechism in a year with Father Mike. There was a lot of vocabulary in that. There was a lot of technical language. I struggled with it sometimes. It got easier as time went by. So I'm okay with the language and like the kind of old-fashioned wording sometimes in this book. I've also realized that it's okay if I don't understand everything on the first pass, because I certainly didn't catch everything in catechism in a year either. So I'm inspired to keep going. I have even been inspired to start my St. Augustine notebook here, and I've been writing down different things as they strike me as I'm listening. So yeah, this has been a big win so far. It is midway through day 4, and I am 57% through the book. Hooray! I just made it through about 10 chapters, all with the title, Augustine Wants to be Chaste, but Not Yet. So that was a real struggle for him, I get it, but somehow I feel like maybe some of that could have been condensed down a little bit. St. Monica has just died, which is very sad, but what an inspiration she is. She is such a model of perseverance for us. She never gave up in her prayers. And I have to say, I did enjoy the part where someone, I think it was St. Ambrose, recommended to Augustine that he read the book of Isaiah. So he said, yeah, I'm going to read it. I'm all on fire for becoming the best Christian I can. And then he starts to read it and he's like, well, I don't know about this Isaiah. It seems like it's all running together. I'm just going to put this aside for later. So I am enjoying seeing that really human side of his nature, how he really struggled with things and he had his ups and downs on the way to holiness, just like the rest of us. So I'm on track to finish within 7 days, hopefully, if I can keep going. I've been laser focused on this book. I haven't been listening to any other podcasts or watching anything else on YouTube or social media. I'm just trying to get through this book. Okay, day 5, and Augustine has just finished up some really long, rambly chapters about memory. Yeah, I think this is where he has lost me in trials past of reading through the confessions. I don't know what he was saying half the time, but it's all right. I think that I will probably wind up going through the confessions again, with the Augustine Institute or somebody, when they read a chapter and then they explain it to you. I think I'm going to need that. Okay, it is day 6. I'm 92% of the way through the book. I have been raking leaves with St. Augustine. So he's been rambling on about time and the creation. I have a feeling that he's in heaven enjoying talking with Albert Einstein about time and relativity. I mean, those two probably are all happy together up in heaven. So I'm getting near the end. I don't feel like this part is so much a biography like Confessions. I think it's more, he's wrestling with these big questions of what is time, what is memory, how did creation come about, which, those are good things to think about. I don't think about them every day, but I'm not St. Augustine. There you go. Okay, it's day 7 and I am done. I have successfully completed my challenge to read the Confessions in a week. Only because I listened to it on audiobook, I think. At first, I was kind of bummed that I was switching from the physical book to the audiobook, but now I realize that there's probably no way I was going to get this whole book read in a week. So I was really surprised how much I did enjoy it overall. It was really fun to get inside St. Augustine's head. He was not going to be fooled. He wasn't going to jump on any old bandwagon. He always investigated everything very thoroughly, which was a good lesson that I'm taking away from this. How many times do we just do the next thing or sign up for something or jump into something because everyone's doing it or it just sounds fun? And we don't stop to consider the time or commitment that might be involved or even if it's a good and worthy thing. One other thing that I'm taking away is that if I really concentrate on something, I can get a lot done. 15 hours of the audiobook, I used every spare moment, and it just kind of makes me wonder, what else could I get done or do if I just put all my attention to it? So now my plan is to go back through it again with a guide, as I mentioned earlier, someone who can walk me through and explain all the things that I might have missed. I did find out that, yes, it is Father Gregory Pine at Ascension who does a podcast on the Confession, so I can check in with that. So that was number 10 on the list of our Catholic goals for 2024. We're squeaking in under the wire. Thanks for coming along with me. St. Augustine, pray for us.